Hi, my name is Jimmy Williams with NFL Draft Diamonds. Here's me today. I have a diamond in the rough I'd like you guys to meet. This here is John Argo, a linebacker from Grandview University. Nice to have you today, sir.
Hey, how's it going? Thanks for having me.
Hey, man, wanted to get a chance to meet a national champion from this past year for the NAIA, the Vikings there. So, again, kudos to you guys for yet again a wonderful season. I know you guys are fixing to hopefully do it once again, but John, I want to learn more about you, your story, and everything you bring to the table, dude. So, go ahead and start us out and introduce yourself.
Yeah, like you said, I'm John Argo. I'm a linebacker at Grandview University. I'm from Davenport, Iowa. Went to Davenport Assumption High School.
Cool, cool. We'll walk through these things just a little bit more, but let's just start at the very, very beginning. How long have you played football?
Ooh, ever since my parents kind of let me get going, there was a little bit. I want to say I was probably about 9 or 10. I'd say it was probably around the age. Wanted to go early, but my mom thought that wasn't such a good idea.
Well, it's the way moms are sometimes. I get that. Obviously,
Exactly.
it's a very physical sport, so you want to, save your kids for that. So completely understand. John, understand that again, you had attended Davenport Assumption there in Iowa, and along with some football, did practically every other sport imaginable during your time there. So, walk me through your time as a student athlete there at Davenport Assumption.
Yeah. So while I was in high school, I obviously played football. I wrestled for 4 years, I ran track for 3 years, and I played baseball for 4 years. Um, Loved every one of them really. Track, I kind of started out because I wanted to get faster. Have some better times for say I'm running a 40. Kind of learn how to run correctly. Had a blast there. Made a state finals in a 4x1. Baseball was kind of my first love. um, my dad was a baseball coach pretty much my whole life, so loved baseball forever. Had some great times, great teammates, and then wrestling was not always my favorite thing in the world, but it taught me some great valuable lessons. I learned one on one. It's you and another guy out there, and if you want to win, you got to do it. There's no one else to blame. There's no refs to blame. So I love that aspect of it, and the grind and the grit, and that was a blast. And then football was clearer than my game. I mean, I loved football, and it maybe not have been my first love like baseball, but I kind of got hooked to it pretty fast.
Gotcha. So, I mean, again, I feel like the wrestling, the overall physicality, of course, the kind of nastiness that you have to bring each and every time you go out there on the mat, of course, where you're, trying to get, the guy over, get the pin. I mean, you're bringing that sort of mentality to the football field. So, John, I'm looking at your overall success at some of these other sports and thinking that maybe perhaps I don't know, you might have had an option to pursue baseball at the collegiate level. I don't know how the recruiting was for you. Like, I don't know how you ultimately ended up deciding to go to Grandview, but walk me through your recruiting and how you ultimately ended up at Grandview.
I don't know if I had. I'm sure I probably could have found some places to play baseball, but I think everyone knew I was kind of a football guy based off of my Twitter and camps I was going to and such. But yeah, it was kind of a weird time for me because COVID was still kind of impacting a lot of things, and it
Right.
still does. Guys still have COVID years and hanging around, and it was kind of chaos. And I hung around, kind of waiting for some opportunities at the Division 1 level. Was kind of sitting on Iowa State or UNI or Drake. Had an offer from Missouri Western, a lot of D2s, and maybe some FCS schools of that type. And at the end, I was kind of waiting on Iowa, or it wasn't Iowa, or I knew I wanted to come here because they do a lot of winning, and I hate losing actually more than I hate winning. So it was kind of an easy choice. It was weird, and I was a really late commitment with I think probably committed in about May, but it was the best decision I ever made coming to Grandview.
Yeah, you mentioned there, obviously they win. I think Grandview has become synonymous with winning over the past few years, man. I mean, of the past 3 years, they've lost all of 2 games, which is wild to think of. Again, you guys always in the national title picture. Of course, last season, you guys winning it all. Obviously, great accomplishment there. John, you've had a lot of great accomplishments as well in your own right. First team all conference, all American. I think you're a defensive player of your conference as well. A lot of great accomplishments to your credit, dude. Which one do you feel you hang your hat on the most?
I think it's easy. It's the national championship for sure. I mean, all that stuff's cool. Conference player of the year. I think we could have had three or four Grandview guys that could have won that thing. I mean, Jackson Filer, Davier Jones. There's dudes all around me that you could have picked anyone on that defense. But national title, football is the ultimate team game. You don't win it out there by yourself. You got to win it with the dudes by your side.
Yeah, I wanted you to talk a little bit more about this defense, especially with the Wolf there on the defensive line. So, talk a little bit about those guys around you, if you don't mind.
Yeah. I mean, that D line last year made my life so easy. Whether it was in the middle with Dane Johnson or Aaron Brown or Jackson Filer and Casey Trudeau or plenty of other guys. We had great depth in the D line. Those guys are eating up double teams and they're not getting the glory. While us guys in the middle get to sit pretty and get the tackles. And guys in the back end, Kellen Moore, Tucker Dick Herber, Davier Jones, great communication, and know those guys are going to stay on top when they need to and come down, make a play. And our coaches are just putting us in a great spot too. I mean, we're going to make you chip away. We're going to make you, we're not give up a big one and make you chip away and get first downs. And you're going to make a mistake before we do, and get there with four. And that's kind of the mentality of our defense is just make them make a mistake, and then when we have our chances, go make a play, go make the play.
Great. Again, I mentioned Grandview synonymous with winning. That doesn't happen without stellar coaches, man. So, talk to me a little bit about the coaching staff there. What's like maybe the most important lesson you've learned from your coaches over the years?
Yeah, we've had at this level. I think it's very rare to have so many coaches stick around so often. I think because just like guys that are in the transfer portal in Division 1, coaches are trying to go up too and make more
Right.
money and same thing. But obviously we had some coaches leave after last year, but that's the first time in forever. There hasn't been a coach here before Coach Peterson, not named Woodley. So that's something special, and those guys stick around. And I've learned so much from Coach Peterson as a former linebacker himself. I mean, he was an All-American, and I don't know if there's one specific thing that I've learned that sticks out to me, but just overall, the game in general, how things work in front of me and behind me as a unit, not just as an individual myself, but what everyone else is doing around me. Um, that can help me and help the team. That's what Coach Pearson's really brought to my eyes.
Yeah, I mean, when you have a coach who has that background, the hope, of course, is that, this all-American successful background that he can, easily, bestow it upon like, his guys so that hopefully you can then go out and do hopefully something similar to what he did back in the day, winning all these games, getting all these awards and such. So, John, let's look at you as a linebacker. Again, what I would actually say, perhaps the best that the NAIA has to offer at linebacker. First of all, I kind of want to get your take on that statement, but also, what do you feel is perhaps your best attribute as a player, when others are trying to, pick apart your game?
Yeah. As far as the first part, I'll let you say it. I'm not gonna confirm, deny, or anything. That's not my job. But as far as the second part, I think my speed is probably the best part of my game that kind of makes me stand out from other linebackers. I'm still a bigger dude. I'm still 230, 235, but I feel like I can run with most running backs and run with tight ends. And um, once I have my reads, I can get out and go. And I don't know if that's kind of not the traditional linebacker you think about, in the 90s and the 80s where these big giant slow dudes that got neck pads on, whatever. No, I like to go out and run and see if I can go chase someone down.
So, just to correct me, because I mean, I think I had the wrong weight in, in my notes, but you said about 6 foot 230.
Yeah, 230 to 35. Yeah,
Cool, cool.
somewhere there.
I actually had 220, but hey, whatever works. I mean,
Yeah, we
if
put
you
on a little
feel
bit.
like that's your ideal size, then go for it. Yeah, I
Yep.
mean, when I was looking at what you bring to the table, you look at a guy with your statistics. I mean, some of the things that stood out for me, I mean, maybe not all of the tackles in the world, but the one thing that really stood out is you have 5 career interceptions. A guy who can successfully drop back into coverage, do very well, and actually has some good ball skills. Where does that come from, man? Is that something that you've been really training to get better at, or what?
Yeah, I mean, we practice it a ton. Drops are a daily thing for us, and especially at Grandview, it's no surprise we run a lot of zone. We run a fair amount of man too, but we run a lot of zone. So just understanding kind of where guys fit in schematically, I can put myself in the right spot, or figuring out what teams are trying to do, to try to influence me or other guys. But I don't know. I don't know if I don't know if I get the best ball skills. I don't know if I'm a DB ball skills, but I don't. I haven't dropped too many. At least I got
Um,
those ones where.
I'm just trying to give you give the credit where it's due, man. I mean, obviously you don't win all these awards, Defensive Player of the Year, All American, Cliff Harris Award finalist, and all this other stuff without really going out there and doing your job very effectively. And I do want to talk about at least a couple moments from this past season, and so let's talk through some of it, bro. Let's start at the very beginning. William Woods, you playing them? You have a pick six.
Yeah,
Uh, Talk me through that moment if you don't mind.
yeah, we were kind of a little, early in the season, a little rusty, kind of. We were up, but didn't have a ton of energy so far in the game, and kind of saw a guy fly out and read it and jumped a route, almost, bobbled a little bit and then grabbed it, and I knew I was gone from there. And I think that kind of lit a spark in us right away. Like, I got there and got to celebrate with all my buddies. And I think that just kind of kick started us from the rest of the game. We needed a little juice, a little pick me up, and I'm glad I could provide it.
Cool. Dude, looking at the way that you guys handled some of your opponents, you throttled some people. Looking at some of these scores, they're just like Madden-esque scores, depending upon who you're, going up against, and that doesn't happen without a stellar offense. Last season, this earlier this year, I had an opportunity to talk with Jackson Waring. What's it like being on the field opposite him? Watching him from the sideline, him doing his thing. Can you talk me through that and just kind of what it means to have a guy like him as your leader?
Yeah. Jackson's a guy that you're glad he's on your squad. You see him running around. He's not maybe the traditional quarterback build. I mean, the dude's jacked. He's 6'3", 230, and he'll run over you too. He's not scared. But on the daily, Jackson is a great leader for our team. Leads by example, leads with his voice. And iron sharpens iron. Iron was kind of our thing last year. I think our defense was great, and their offense was great. And there would be days where they win. There's days we win, and we might be talking some trash towards each other. But at the end of the day, we know that, hey, this is. I think that they were the best offense that we played, maybe all year. And if you're going against that every day, you're going to get a whole lot heck better.
Yeah, man, and you guys definitely did well. And by the time that you're getting to the playoffs, we're looking at the playoffs that you guys had to go through. Dude, you guys had to go through a gauntlet of talent, man. Probably the best of the best at your division. I mean, starting with Friends University, then Northwestern, and then after Northwestern, Morningside, and then ultimately Kaiser. You guys are going through again the best of the best. So I mean, walk me through these playoffs a little bit. If there's maybe any highlights that you'd like to share, and ultimately get us to you hoisting a trophy at the very end.
Yeah, like you said, we had a definitely tough path. That's how it's going to be when you get there. I think we beat the last three national champions.
Right.
Um, that was a grind. That first Friends Week, like you said, they hadn't, they didn't win a national championship, but man, that was a grind. You get that first round game and you're like, oh, triple option, that'll make you kind of like, all right, what's this all about? And then you go out there and it's a grind. I mean, it's a triple option team. It's different and unique, and it took a little bit for us to get Justin, but down in the second half, or sorry, down in the first half, came out, knew that our offense is gonna have to score about every time they get the ball, and we gotta not let them score. So especially with them burning that clock, and that was a great win. That one, kind of get a little scared about that one, but um, they all kind of presented different things. I mean, that Morningside offense was lethal. They had great numbers. That quarterback can sling it. They got good receivers. Yeah, they were a great squad. And then that Kaiser team, man, they brought back a lot of dudes from the last year, and um, yeah, they were a really good squad. They had some really good running backs, and we knew that if we could stop that run, that we'd have a good chance of winning. And then once you kind of realize that you have it, and you're up a couple scores, about a couple minutes left, you're like, oh, this is happening. Like, man, you kind of look around, everyone's getting all nervous like a little kid. Like, oh man, it was the best feeling ever. You get to go out there with guys that you've been grinding with for 3 years and celebrate, and yeah, it was euphoric. I don't know how to explain
Hey, it's fine. Euphoric is good. That works.
it.
Uh, again, just looking at how you described the gauntlet that you guys had to go through. I mean, you had to learn how to adjust. You had to adjust to the triple option. You had to adjust to a pass heavy offense. I mean, and you guys had to, be the tougher guys out there. Which you guys were. You were the most disciplined. You guys made all the plays you needed to make, and then ultimately ended up winning the national title. Um, it's a little hard to do it going back to back, but I know you guys have it in you to do it. Uh, Talk to me about that pressure of having the target on your back this year.
I think pressure is a good thing. I think at Grandview we've talked about it. Uh, like, you're going to get everyone's best shot at all given points. We won the conference X amount of years in a row, and everyone is, man, I want Grandview. I want Grandview. You want to go. They want to go beat those top teams, and so you got to make sure not to get caught in those mundane days where you could take a day off or whatever. But yeah, sure. I mean, pressure is a good thing. It's a privilege. Uh, Hopefully we get everyone's best shot, and looking forward to it, and um, hopefully go back and do it again.
Cool. Well, I mean, best of luck to you guys. I mean, it's never easy going out there and winning a game, much less running the table and being a national champion. But I mean, I know you guys have it in you to do it again. You had a lot of guys coming back. Some guys had some opportunities to maybe transfer out, but I mean, heck, if you can come back and win a national title, just do it. And hopefully you guys can do it once again. So. Uh, John wanted to take a moment to step off the football field a little bit, see if there's anything about you that you want people to know, any interesting fun facts about you, whether it be your hobbies, your overall interests, anything about you that you want to share. So go ahead and hit me with some.
Um, I don't know if I got anything too crazy for you. I like to do a lot of the same things the guys like to do: hang out, and go golfing, go fishing, hang out with my buddies. I got a couple of nephews and nieces. Like to spend a lot of family time with them. Three older brothers, two older brothers, sisters, or sorry, three older brothers, two older sisters. So spend a lot of quality time with those guys, and nothing super unique, but love it.
Cool. Well, hey, John, just for the fun of it, I'm going to ask you a bunch of random questions, have nothing to do with football. It's really just for us to play a little bit and, maybe share a little bit of your personality as we're going through some of these. So, uh, you have any pets? You a cat or a dog guy? Talk to me.
So I kind of have a dog. It's a interesting story. It's my brother's dog. His name's Kobe, named after Kobe Bryant. But it's my brother's dog, and he's lived with my parents since I was in high school. And so I guess he's my dog, and I lived with him for a couple years, and he's the man. He's the biggest chiller ever, and big old chocolate lab that wants to lay around all day.
Gotcha. So it's not so much that he's yours or your brother's, but he's part of the family. So
Yeah, he's
that's
ours. Yeah.
yes, there you go. That works. Um, if you had a chance to say, I want, you'd like to choose like a specific superpower, what would that be? Flight, super strength, X-ray vision, crawling on walls, talking to animals. Dude, I don't know. There's tons of different things that we can do with that. But I mean, with the full gambit of superhero abilities out there, which would you choose?
Um, I'd probably go with maybe be able to read some minds. You might get some bad thoughts, some people talking some crap, or maybe some dirty thoughts that you wouldn't want to hear or see. But you probably have a pretty big advantage if you're looking over that offense coordinator, that quarterback, or whatever's going on. So I think that'd be pretty neat. Yeah,
Cool. So a little bit of Professor X.
I guess. Yeah.
No, I get you. Um, favorite board game or card game?
Ooh, I got a couple. We're kind of a big card and
We got a
more
big
so a card
family, so I
family.
kind of figured, you guys would be playing something.
Yeah, exactly. Kind of got the Midwestern usual with euchre. Played a bunch of euchre. I don't know if that's a huge game nationwide, but we loved euchre. Played a lot of Parcheesi growing up as a kid. Maybe some Risk if you're gonna grind out. Maybe during a rainy day, you got 3 4 hours,
Right.
something like that, or maybe find myself at the blackjack table.
No, I hear you. Well, some fun stuff there. I mean, obviously that you've played during your time. Um, I don't know if this pertains to you because it really all depends on the person, but Star Wars or Star Trek?
I don't know if I've actually seen it, most of it. I mean, I've seen parts of both of those, but not up my
I'm just
alley.
saying you're not one or the other. You don't really
No,
particularly care.
not one or the other. No.
Fair enough, dude. Some people will, go to war over some of these things, so that's fine. I'll just go ahead and skip to the next question. If you had an opportunity maybe to have a discussion, or talk to like a historical figure, somebody in the past. I don't know if you're, a big, I don't know, fan, or if you studied up or on a particular person of significance. But any idea who that would be for you?
um,
I'm
I
here to
think who
ask
would
the
have to be
hard
cool one.
questions. That's what I'm here to
I
ask.
think I'm sure. I bet Lewis and Clark would have some interesting stories. I bet they've seen some things. Maybe those
Pretty sure they
guys. I'd love
did.
to talk to Dan Gable. Seems like the man. Um, so obviously I wrestled. So Dan Gable, something like that would be cool. Um, yeah, I don't know why Lewis and Clark stuck out, but I bet they've
It,
seen some stuff.
that's fine. I mean, you figure they've gone through Iowa, I would imagine.
Yeah.
So sure, why not? Let's see if I have one more here. I think we kind of have to steer things back towards the football side of things. So let's, go with this one. Who's doing it at the top level in the NFL right now? I mean, are you a fan of a particular guy? I mean, talk to me about you studying guys at the next level.
Growing up, I was a big Kuechly fan. I thought I was a running back, so I loved Adrian Peterson. Plus, I'm a Vikings fan. So I love those guys. There's a couple guys that I really like watching. Um, I really like Josie Jewell. Growing up, being an Iowa fan. Now
Of
he's with
course.
the Panthers or Broncos. Um, who else? I like Spillane from the Raiders. Trying to think who else. There's LSU linebacker Whit Weeks. I think he's like my age, maybe like even younger, but
He's in
you
this
go out
draft.
there.
So
Yeah, he's a dude. I guess I don't know if that's, someone I watched a bunch of film on or anything. Um, but yeah, I
how,
loved Anthony Barr,
who
Eric
would you compare to
Kendricks.
your game? Is there a guy that you'd compare your game to, or what?
I mean, that guy I just named, Eric Kendricks. I was a huge fan. He's a Viking guy. I mean, he can't be much bigger than 6 foot, 6'1", maybe a little undersized. Smart. I mean, super smart guy. Can fly around. Um, so maybe that guy. I don't know if that's a fair comparison there, but yeah, he's a guy that I always enjoyed watching.
Yeah, I mean, certainly a guy like that, maybe Fred Warner, other guys of that nature that could certainly fly around the field, so to speak. I know you do that in your own right there. You're dominating the defense there at Grandview and hopefully doing some great things this upcoming season. Um, Go ahead and close us out with your final thoughts. What are scouts and everyone else going to get out of a guy like you this season and beyond when you also hit the professional scene? So close with your thoughts.
I think they could expect someone who's, a consistent grinder. I'm gonna go out there and I'm not gonna overflash you with anything. I'm gonna know where I'm at. I'm gonna work my tail off, win reps, things of that nature. And a guy who's, like I said, just consistent, whether it's practice or a game or whatever. You're gonna find the same intensity level from me every day.
Cool. Well, again, mentioned it earlier. I'll mention it again. Best linebacker that the NAIA has to offer, expecting to win a national title once again this upcoming season. John, want to wish you the best in your pursuit of that goal. Okay.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Jimmy.
Sure thing. Once again, I got with me John Argo, linebacker out of Grandview. Check him out this season.